lots of us been struggling a little bit through the winter season, and I've decided to just go full-blown spring now. Luckily, where I live, it is already about 70 degrees, so it's not a far fetch. But I wanted to kind of clear away some of the winter type cobwebs, wanted to do a little bit of actual greenery in my house. I wanted to do a little sprucing up. I also, in the next few weeks, I'm embarking on a really big house project that I will bring you along with. We can maybe do a little planning for that today. So I wanted to hit the secondhand stores, see what I could find. So for the big house project, there's going to be a bathroom added. It's not even a bathroom renovation. We're putting in a bathroom. So I want it to be vintage to my house. My house is from 1956. I want it to stay very, very mid-century. So I went to my local salvage yard to see what lighting I could find. I also wanted to go to my favorite creative reuse store to see if there was anything interesting that I could use in terms of decor or for potting my new greenery. And I just really wanted to kind of take a look around and see what was out there, see what could help me update the space by making it look old, but fresh to me. It's been a rough time for all of us. I wanted to do something that felt really good, that felt like I was doing something that was fun. So come with me while we do a little secondhand shopping, while we hit the plant store, the greenery place, the garden center, and see what we can find. I also wanted to take kind of everything that I did pick up yesterday and, plant some plants, do a little greenery for my desk, light up a little potpourri bowl. Hi, buddy. I wanted to light up a little potpourri bowl for the kitchen to get it smelling light and citrusy and fresh. And, I'm considering it spring officially. It's not. I know some of you are still in the deep freeze, but I'm working with where I live. So let's hang out. Let's do some spring freshening up. Let's do some planning for even bigger freshening up. And let's head on outside. This is one of my favorite places in San Francisco if I'm looking for something unique for my house or something vintage, something for the home that you want to get at a better price. It is Building Resources, as in reuse. You can find pretty much anything you need at really, really amazing prices. This was a great way for me to check out some tiles that were on my mood board without having to go to a big stuffy showroom. This place genuinely has everything. It's so fun. If you have something like this in your area, I highly, highly recommend checking it out. This vintage medicine cabinet had me genuinely rethinking the entirety of my bathroom design. So I very much is on the hunt for vintage lighting for my bathroom and just for generally around my house. My house is from 1956. The light fixtures are all original. Occasionally we like to switch up the shades, but I was ideally trying to find a couple of sconces to go in my what is going to look very mid-century modern bathroom. And this place just stacks and stacks of them. I spent so long in the lighting section. I swear I looked at each and every piece of lighting that they had. I was obsessed with this teak piece. If I hadn't just refurbished 2 vintage lamps, I absolutely would have been taking that home with me. They have an amazing selection of drawer pulls. This is sort of what I'm thinking, but they have had these bins of vintage Bakelite drawer pulls for years, and I don't know, I love them. They're not my colors, but oh, they're so good. Then I was off to Scrap, my favorite creative reuse store. Can never pass up the fabric aisle, ever. I did come home with a couple vintage patterns, as I usually do. But what I was really on the hunt for were some interesting vases or planters or vintage lighting, if I could find anything. Again, I'm really trying to brighten up and refresh the house for kind of the spring season, bring a little joy into the house. So I was looking at things I could put some greenery in. I desperately wanted this giant bingo tombola spinner. I don't know why. They had some vintage lighting too, but not quite what I was looking for, so I headed off to the garden center next. It felt amazing to be out in the sunshine and smelling all of these herbs. Oh, it was the best. I was looking for something specific to go in a shady corner chimenea that I've got going in the backyard. You'll see in a minute. So I was really looking in this shady plant area. And look how cute these are. I love these so much. I had thrifted this amazing mid-century little planter that I think is going to be perfect for this little tiny baby fern that I picked up. I love it so much. And because I'm always at the beach, I had a little handful of shells and pebbles that I'm going to use for drainage because this little pot doesn't have a drain hole. This was a very specific need. Pardon the overgrowth. We've had a ton of rain, but this is a decommissioned chimenea I've got that I like to put plants in. It had ferns in there for a long time and they were doing really well. And then they just suddenly weren't. I think they just got too much rain. So I wanted to find something that would go in this mostly shady spot that would be bright and interesting. And at Flowercraft, they were so helpful and they helped me pick out this beautiful plant, which a friend of mine told me is called Lotteria. I think it's beautiful. This yellow speckled leaves are so soft. Dog liked it too. And the little fern that I planted now has pride of place on my work desk next to a little spider plant that I was gifted at Christmas. So after having all the windows closed for like the last 3 months straight, the house is just starting to smell a little musty. So I opened all the windows and I made a little potpourri simmer pot. I had some Meyer lemons, I have some dried orange peel, a little cinnamon. Oh, it just smells so good. So this is my disaster of a sewing space and laundry area in my garage. Coming, I would say soon, but anyone who's ever done any sort of construction on your house knows that that's a lie. But coming, when it comes, this is going to be a bathroom. A really nice, all for me, Beautiful bathroom. Our house is very small. We are 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. And I am very excited to end up with a second bathroom. It's a long time coming. We've been saving up for this for about 10 years, which is kind of crazy, but that's how you have to do it. Homeownership is not a cheap thing, you know? So this is the space now, and I'd love to show you what I want it to look like. So here is the mood board for my soon-to-be bathroom. As you can see, it's very pink, it's very light green, very vintage. My house is from 1956, and I am trying to stick as much as possible to period design and period features. I just went Pinterest happy, as one does when you're embarking on a project like this. I do want it to be very pink, very girly, little haven. I love these archway tiles. I'm not sure about the purple, but I love the recessed bath in the archway. I'm not quite sure that I'm going to have any space to do anything this big and lavish, but you know, when you're doing the decorating, you go for the absolute ideal, right? Looking at some vintage tiles. This color scheme just makes me so happy, and we're definitely going to add a little touch of whimsy, maybe with some swans or something. Who knows? So I've had a pretty great couple of days. I loved going to the salvage yard. I love going to my creative reuse store. I got my nails dirty and, you know, broke a couple of them, which weirdly is exactly what I needed. I needed the sunshine. I needed the life. I'm going to sit down here and I'm going to finish up my spring dress that I've been working on. This is a project I've just been working on in those 15, 20-minute periods that you find throughout the day. If I've got kind of a longer break between client calls, or if the dog is just taking an extra long time to, you know, use the facilities. I've just been doing a few little things here and there, and I'm really excited. I'm at the finish line. I can't wait to wear it. My house smells immaculate with that cinnamon and citrus, potpourri boiling away on the stove. It's just been a really great couple of days. I'd love to know how you're preparing for spring. If you've got any reno projects coming up, please give me your tips, your tricks. I really hope you are coming out of the winter freeze. I really hope you are finding some enjoyment and finding some ways to take care of yourself. So I think I'm going to squeeze these last 15 minutes out of my lunch break before my next call and get this dress finished. Let's everybody cross all of your fingers. If you want to make sure you're here to watch the shell pink tile go up, go ahead and hit subscribe. I'd love to have you along for the journey. Other than that, I hope you are finding projects that make you happy. So until I see you next time, stay covered in dirt, stay crafty, stay creative, and I'll see you next time. Bye.